What planet does Leia tell Tarkin is the location of the rebel base?
Dantooine. They're on Dantooine.
And who is Padme's decoy?
Sabe.
Name of Grievous's flagship?
The Invisible Hand.
And how many deaths are there total in the original trilogy?
Owen, Beru, Obi-Wan. Wait, both Death Stars?
Do you give up?
How is anybody supposed to know that?
It is 2,002,795,192. I knew it! Fake fan.
What's that even mean? What is all this?
Where do I even begin? You put Rogue One in C tier, Andor in D tier, multiple prequels below A tier, and then you put a sequel in A tier. It puts your whole fanboy status into question. We need to put it to the test. Trivia, right here, right now.
I got a newsflash for you, cowboy. You put Rogue One in C tier. You also put a sequel in A tier. And do I really need to bring it up that you put Kenobi in A tier? Who's the fake fan now? Welcome to Beyond the Dune Sea. My name's Seth.
And I'm Konnor.
My favorite comment is from What You Talking About Willis. This was on Instagram. My dad pulled me out of school early to go see Revenge of the Sith in theaters. When he came to pick me up, I had to tell him I had sadly broken my glasses that day at recess and could not see a foot in front of me. We ended up going to the movie, sat in the front row, and he just told me what happened scene by scene. You'll never forget that movie. Yeah. That's amazing.
Such a great memory.
Yes,
Such a great memory.
It's so cool.
And my favorite comment comes from YouTube at Tsunami. We're just gonna leave it at that. Let's all just be completely honest with ourselves. Attack of the Clones, Padme alone elevates it up a tier.
At the top of A tier.
Fair enough.
Wow. Okay.
Fair enough.
Wow. Okay.
So now that we've got that sorted, you make a good point.
Yes. Hey Konnor, do you feel that?
What's that?
Have you felt that?
A disturbance in the force.
There was a tremor.
A rumbling.
Last night.
Yes. As if a bunch of voices on Twitter all called out at once.
They cried out all in sequence.
Yes.
Unison. Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, the rumor mill goes Ahsoka Season 2 is a go. How about that? And that comes from a very reliable leaker on X, formerly known as Twitter. My Time to Shine. Hello. If you're not familiar with their work on Twitter, they are very reliable. I believe they were the ones who broke the Spider-Man No Way Home stuff very early on. I could be wrong if it was there's a couple of the leakers who are right all the time. I do know that they are one that is always right. So I wouldn't take their word as gospel, but if they're saying Ahsoka Season 2 is a go, I would say there's a pretty good chance that it's been confirmed at Lucasfilm and they're starting the pre-production process. So, hey, more Ahsoka.
Yeah.
That's good news.
That's exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Because, hey, y'all know we liked that show.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So I'm down.
Well, it's good that that story gets to continue.
Yeah, I know. I was a little worried.
Yeah, that would kind of stink that it just,
I really thought it was just going to go right into the movie. I didn't think that we were going to get a season 2.
It's kind of what I was thinking too, but yeah.
I'm good with this.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. There was a lot of uncertainty with the strikes. I didn't know if we were going to be getting, I didn't know what we were going to get. A new Mando Season 4 was kind of a
toss up. And there's been talk that may even get turned into a movie.
Yeah. And then they went back on it and it was like, well, they won't they? And now it's like, hey, I think things are settling a little bit.
Yeah.
Starting to. So Ahsoka Season 2. That was kind of a no-brainer, right? Yeah. So, hey, just wanted to open the show with that. That's really cool. We got some not quite confirmation, but might as well be Ahsoka Season 2.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not what we're doing today.
No.
You might notice this, some of you might be very nostalgic seeing this little piece of artwork right here. Seth, you want to tell me a little bit about this?
Oh, well, this is a copy of Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. This is the special edition version. This has got that nice, beautiful Revenge of the Sith artwork on it that was on all the action figure blisters. It was
Dude, it was everywhere.
I was about to say that was on top of Walmart, on top of Target, like any toy section you went to.
Yes.
That
Dude,
was there.
That image is burned in my brain.
Yeah.
That era, man, so when I was a kid, Revenge of the Sith era is when I really started to come to as a Star Wars fan. It wasn't because of Revenge of the Sith necessarily. I just happened to start getting into the movies.
Yeah.
And then it sort of culminated with me seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters. And I remember in my hometown, our Walmart was closing down because they were building a bigger one. And so I really wanted a lightsaber. And I went, and like it was all gone. All the kiosks and stuff were gone, and like the aisles were basically empty. And I remember asking an employee, I was like, I really want a lightsaber. Where can I get a lightsaber? And she's like, well, we just moved all the toys to the new Walmart, but it opens up, and it was in 2 days. Like it opens up in 2 days. And so my mom took me 2 days later, and like this image was like a giant banner. I mean, the pegs were covered in those blisters from the 2005 Hasbro 3 3/4 inch figures, just a ton of them. Like the lightsabers, the
ships,
the figures, the ships.
Yeah.
Dude, it was just, I saw it everywhere. And I
what
had
a time to be alive.
And I had at my dad's house, I had a bunch of these figures that I kept these blisters, and I had in my closet a wall of just this, like all the backs, the card backs. So man, just gives me a bunch of nostalgia seeing that. But
and I was going to say, I'll be honest, I bought this at a garage sale.
Yeah?
Yes.
What'd you pay for it?
Like $1. Yeah.
Dude, that's all. I mean, it is a nice, it's a 10.
It is a 10.
That's a nice,
I just saw it, and I was like, they were just like, we've played it a little bit, but we're not huge fans.
Yeah.
And so I was like, cool.
So
Cool,
why
cool,
do we
cool.
have Trivial Pursuit out here? So we're playing a little bit of Star Wars trivia. We're here to back our names up.
We're here to have fun.
Yeah, we're just here to have fun.
Yeah, let's be honest.
But we're not actually playing the game, but we are going to pull questions from the game. And here's how this is going to work. We got a little bit of a twist on the trivia aspect here. So if I pull a question and I ask a question, or Seth asks a question, so perfectly, there's a perfect opportunity right here. What color does carbonite turn as it melts?
Red.
Red. That is correct.
Yeah.
So if he gets a question right, then you have to tell a positive story or memory from this movie or era of Star Wars. So in this case, it could be Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back, the OT in general.
Yeah.
So then you'd be like, all right, cool. Yeah, I've got this story. But you get it wrong. It's blue. Bah, that's wrong, Seth. Now you have to give a criticism, even if it's your favorite movie, and if it's Revenge of the Sith, then you got, even though it's a perfect movie, you've got to tell me what's wrong with it.
Something I don't like about it.
Tell me something that's wrong with it.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Make sense?
That makes sense.
So
I'm game.
Right. That's the idea. Just an opportunity to spawn some discussion with a little bit of Star Wars trivia. So this game only covers the first 6 movies, but we do have some trivia questions pulled up for the sequels. So hey, without further ado, let's get into this.
Yeah, let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a story about that first question?
Okay.
I got one for you that I just remember. So you remember the gold, the VHSs, the gold Vader helmets and silver ones for special edition? Do you have any idea?
I have a sealed version of them.
Okay, cool. So I got those for like my 9th birthday or something like that. And I remember I loved watching Return of the Jedi so much. My mom said that every time she came downstairs, it was always the scene where he fell out of carbonite and he's like, who are you? And she's like, someone who loves you. And then she's like, how's it always this part? How are you always at this part? And I'm like, I don't know, Bob. Like, you're making a really big deal about this. So I just want to watch the movie. But anyway, so yeah, there you go.
Fun.
It's like that. That's what we're doing, guys. We're reliving.
We're just riffing. We're just having a good time.
We're just having fun.
We're just having fun. Because hey, Star Wars is about fun. Yes, last week was pretty tense. We were like,
it's true.
We were getting at it with
we
Kenobi,
were a little bit.
And that's why I didn't put any Kenobi trivia on here, because it's not that time. The time will be soon, but it's not now. First question.
Oh, okay.
Who says, this is a saga question, who says, Chewie, I'll be waiting for your signal?
Luke says that in Empire Strikes Back.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's at the end of the movie. So something about The Empire Strikes Back.
Something you love.
Something that memory. I do.
You already kind of gave up one about Return of the Jedi.
I did. Yeah. That I was going to say that, like, I do. I do really like that Boba Fett had the wherewithal to shoot at Luke in Empire Strikes Back. And I think a lot of people don't really give him credit for that. You know, like I think that's kind of sick that like, because he doesn't really do anything.
Mhm.
He just shows up, stands there, he looks cool. He does shoot at Luke Skywalker though. So like that.
He also shoots at Luke Skywalker in 2 different forms. Do you know
true.
that? Here's another little trivia question for you. Jeremy Bullock plays 2 characters in Empire Strikes Back.
He does, but like he uses Leia as a shield. He doesn't actually shoot at Luke.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, he pulls Leia in front of him, and then
Okay. So it was a trick question. You
Yeah,
got it right.
it's all right. I'm just flexing. My brain's not smooth.
All right, throw one at me.
Throw one at you. Okay.
And you're going to be a lot better at this than me.
I don't know. There is. So, did you want to pick a color?
No, go ahead. You can just read one.
What must deactivate before Han's ship can gain passage to Endor?
For Han's ship. That's a trick question because that's Han's ship is the.
It's the Falcon. We're not talking about the Falcon though. What's Han? How does Han have to get to Endor? What has to be deactivated?
Well, the deflector shield is.
There you go. Okay.
I
Yes.
was gonna say, it's like that's kind of a trick
Yeah.
question because I'm thinking he doesn't take the Falcon into Endor.
No, he does not take the Falcon Endor. Yeah.
So yeah, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh, I could mention a million things about this movie, even though I got some flack last week for like, man, I can't believe I'm like, I love this movie. What do you mean? I just mentioned I didn't. The middle part is just doesn't fly as much for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention all the obvious parts of Return of the Jedi, but there's actually I'll mention a couple of the deleted scenes for Return of the Jedi is really fun. Like Luke building his lightsaber. I really like that scene, but I'm also glad it was cut because the reveal is much cooler.
It's awesome.
It's much better because when you see him, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, when you see him walk in, you're like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
He's in all black.
Yeah.
What's his deal? And then the reveal of the green. You've never seen that before.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah. You know why it was green, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, because the very practical issue against the blue sky.
Can't see it.
You can't see it. You know how they solved this problem in Revenge of the Sith, by the way? They had a similar problem. In Revenge of the Sith, when they're on Mustafar fighting, the blue blades, even though they're blue against the red, they wouldn't mesh very well. They started to get lost in the composition. And I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He's one of the head ILM guys. He was on one of the episodes of VFX Artist Reacts. He was talking about this. They created a mat underneath the lightsaber. So like the lightsabers were blue. So a mat is basically, I'll try to explain as simply as I can. They had the lightsaber effect, and then underneath it, they had basically another effect to desaturate the background behind it that was underneath it.
2 layers of blue then, or 2 different colors.
Well, so it was blue. So they had the blue,
and
then underneath the blue, they had a layer that was like following the motion of the lightsaber blade that was desaturating the background so that the blue would pop against that red.
Gotcha.
So pretty interesting how things have changed, because I mean, back in Return of the Jedi, it was just mega green.
We can't do anything about it. I guess good guys have green too.
Yeah, mega green.
Yeah.
So, but the other deleted scene, I'm sure you've seen it. When Han and Luke are talking to each other, like in the sandstorm, before they leave.
He thanks him.
Just before Luke goes off to Dagobah, and I like that scene.
Yeah,
that's a cool scene. So I just like the deleted scenes in that movie. I actually like the deleted scenes in all of the OT. Another one in that movie I like is what's his face? What's the admiral's name? Is it Gerard?
Yeah.
Admiral Gerard.
The one who's in charge of the Death Star?
Yeah. He has like a little bit of remorse. He doesn't like what he's doing. He give him a little bit more depth in the deleted scenes. He actually stands up to Vader in one of the deleted scenes.
And doesn't Vader like choke the guards?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Gerard is like, kind of has a last stand to Vader because he doesn't want to, isn't it? He doesn't want to use the Death Star. He doesn't want to blow up the Rebel fleet, something like that.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
But they give him a little bit more depth, and he's not just a faceless Imperial.
Bad guy, just another dude. Yeah, I gotcha.
So, deleted scenes. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just stump you here. How many digits does a Gungan have on each hand?
Oh, goodness. I don't know if I could know that. Let's go 4.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
I thought there might have been a chance you'd go with like 3 or something, but I almost went with the.
It was either 4 or 6. What, you almost went with the Force?
No, I almost went with the who do you see first in Empire Strikes Back? Who's the first character you see?
Who's the first character you see in Empire Strikes Back? It's Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah, because it was
Hey, you guys, tell me something about episode 1.
Tell you something that I like about episode 1.
Gotta start getting some of these wrong.
I know. I think that Obi-Wan in that movie kind of solidified if I was going to have a lightsaber, what color I would want it to be. Because I thought Obi-Wan blue. Because I thought Obi-Wan was cool in episode 1. That I was like, ooh, I kind of like this. Like, he's just, we'd never seen a Padawan before.
Yeah,
up until
time.
then, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, okay. They don't always have to be these, like, because Luke's pretty, stoic when he's a Jedi in Return of the Jedi, and then he's not really a Jedi in Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, he's got a lightsaber and stuff like that, but he's still running around with a gun and stuff. That like, ooh, this is kind of cool. So I there you go. That like when little me was like, if I was gonna have a lightsaber color, I think it'd be blue, and it was like, I think it's because of Obi-Wan in episode 1.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Yeah.
Hit me. What do we got?
What's the largest creature seen in all 6 Star Wars movies?
The largest creature?
Yep.
Sarlacc. No? Oh, no, it's the worm in Empire Strikes Back.
It's a space slug.
Well, I'll take that as a loss.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about the space slug.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, that's technically from Empire then.
Yeah,
the original trilogy. I'll be bold, talk about Empire, something I don't like about it.
Yeah.
So my biggest critique, it's not even a critique of Empire, but it stands so tall, but it has to stand on New Hope's shoulders. It has to.
Yeah.
It can't stand on its own.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing about Empire. It is so good, but
it helps so much with watching episode 4 before it. Yeah.
And it's hard without Return of the Jedi too. Mm-hmm. It very much is a part of the saga, but that is a good thing about it. But it's really hard to exist on its own.
A tried and true middle chapter.
Yeah. But a very good, the best.
Yeah.
So that would be my, another critique I have, which again, it's only not fair in retrospect, but the fact that we don't get a clear idea how long Luke was on Dagobah and the chase happened with the asteroid field, because I've heard a lot of things like, oh, it was like 6 months, or maybe it's a couple days, because in the movie it feels like it's a couple days.
Yeah.
But I've heard it might actually have been like 6 months.
Yeah.
That would have been clarifying just to know how long. But back then, though, we didn't know what a Jedi's training looked like. Yeah. And maybe that's it, right? Yeah.
Yoda unlocked potential in him, basically, for lack of better. Because that's a hard time to think about that. Like, what, they just chilled on the Falcon for 6 months, hid in the asteroid field, and Vader just searched for 6 months for them. Exactly. Yeah, when you really start thinking like it takes that long to get to Bespin,
and again, it's the Force, so maybe you don't need that much, and just that time with Yoda really.
It is funny to scream. Like, Luke trained with Yoda for an afternoon and decided he knew what was up. But
then again, I mean, he fails that training in a lot of ways too.
Does.
So there is that. Mm-hmm. Let's go into one of the sequels.
Okay.
Pick one of the sequels or Rogue One. Pick one.
Force Awakens.
You just picked that because you like that movie.
Fine. No,
it's too late. I'm right here. Here. What is the first word of the opening crawl? Ooh. I actually know this one.
Yeah, but I don't. It's not war. I know. Yeah,
I believe it is Luke.
Luke Skywalker's disappeared.
Luke Skywalker has vanished. That was
vanished.
Correct.
Yeah.
Here, actually, let's just run this because it's a quiz on StarWars.com.
Okay, so we can do it together.
Yeah. What happens to Poe Dameron's X-wing after he is taken from Jakku?
Gets blown up. They shoot it, don't they?
So that is one of the options.
Yeah,
the Stormtroopers destroy it.
Yeah, they destroy it.
You are correct. All right, next one.
Yeah.
What
Simon
creature
Pegg.
does Finn share a drink with on Jakku? Dude, I don't know. Here's the options.
I don't know that creature either.
Hoppabor, Hurid, Lugabeast, and Lasat. It's not Lasat. It's the only one we know for sure.
Lugabeast.
That's what I'm going to go with too.
Yeah.
That's not right. It's Hubbabor.
Hobbabor. Okay.
Okay, so we got two against.
Ugh.
Who injures Chewbacca's arm?
Isn't it one of the Kanji Club guys?
So here's the options. Kylo Ren, Tasu
No.
Leech, a Kanji Club member, or a Guavian Death Gang member.
It could be any of them.
I know they could be either. Dude, that's tough.
Yeah, I know. Let's go Guavian Death Leader guy, I guess.
That is right.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's right.
Cool.
Man,
All
that
right.
one is a toss-up.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about, which times, because tell that to Kanji Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of.
What does Supreme Leader Snoke say will happen if Luke Skywalker returns? Easy.
The Jedi return?
The new Jedi will rise.
Yeah.
That was easy. Which of the following is not a Maz Kanata quote? Let's get to it. Who's the girl? We know that one.
Yeah.
You look troubled. I know the Force. So I know she says that. So it's between let's get to it and you look troubled.
I think it's let's get to it.
So it's like such an NPC thing to
is.
say. No, it's not.
Really?
It's you look troubled.
When does she say let's get to it?
I don't know.
I don't remember her saying that.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh man, this is sad. What are Leia's last words to Han? Oh,
Bring him home, right?
Yes, I was going to say, yes,
Yeah.
I do know that.
Yeah.
Yep, that was
Okay.
right. Is bring him home. Hey, we got a 70%.
Ugh. All right.
You almost achieved mastery, but much like BB-8's map to Luke Skywalker, your knowledge
It's
is
not complete.
incomplete.
We're garbage. We are so garbage.
All right, okay, let's give a thing we like and a thing we hate.
I think that Force Awakens, if you look at it just in a pocket, I think it does use the legacy characters really well.
Yes.
Yeah. If you look at we don't get Luke, but it sets up that we're going to get Luke,
Mhm.
right? So I think that's really cool. Something else I do think it's neat is that Starkiller Base gets a bunch of flack for it just being another Death Star.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of neat that they terraformed a planet and put a gun inside it. I think that's kind of a neat idea. And then the fact that it's Ilum.
Yeah, and that was a great example of backfilling in a good way.
Yeah.
That it was Ilum.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Thing
you hate?
Thing I hate?
Yeah.
I wish that there was more traditional Star Wars creatures in it.
Mm.
Why didn't we see Rhodians? Why didn't we see Icthorians? Why didn't we see, Weequays? There was just the
Gungans.
Gunkins. Yes. I was going to Aqualish. That there was a whole world of characters. Why did we not it didn't
Sure.
seem like the same world all the time.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all.
I hear
I think
that.
Star Wars TV has a really tough time with that, but I get it for budgetary reasons. But a lot of humans in Star Wars.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So for me, Force Awakens, I love. I actually really like that duel in the forest. Not only does it look great, but I like the direction of the choreography. I wish that was maintained going forward, but I remember hearing from the choreographer, and the direction was, yes, Kylo Ren has been trained classically, but by someone who also was not really trained with a lightsaber. So it's like a generation removed. Yes, he was trained by Luke, but also Luke was a generation removed from the prequel era, acrobatics of the Jedi. So Kylo Ren wields his lightsaber very brutishly. It's very primitive the way that they fight.
Yeah.
And I like that they did it that way. In The Force Awakens, I think it really works, cutting down trees, and it was really cool.
Swings it like a claymore.
Yeah. And I think it works the best in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I wish that there was the same amount of thought given going forward. In my opinion, I don't think it is.
He still swings for the fences every time with it.
Yes, but they take that
to the nth level.
I think that in Force Awakens, the point was it's primitive. It's a primitive style of fighting.
Yeah.
The movies going forward took it like he was slinging a club, and that's not really if you look at it on the surface, it's the same thing. It's just swinging swinging a lightsaber like a claymore. But the purpose behind the direction and the two different types of fighting is less intentional going forward, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that was a positive, that wasn't my thing I don't like. Here's the thing I don't like that
Rude.
I'm not sure many people know about this. I remember leading up to this movie, I saw a leak. It was a BTS video out on like a backlot at Pinewood or something of Mark Hamill dressed as Luke Skywalker, because they were hiding that for a long time.
He was actually gonna be in there. Yeah.
Yeah. There were some leaked set pics of like what his costume, like some real grainy stuff. But there was a video that came out, and Luke was standing. He was in that outfit that he's in at the end of the movie, so it was legit. He was standing on like a platform like this, and there was a giant fan in front of him, just like billowing his robe and his cape or his hair and all that stuff. And there was I remember a bunch of speculation, like, what is this? What's going on? I remember seeing that, like, yeah, that's my guy. I can't wait to see this. This is going to be so cool. And then we watched the movie, and I kind of forgot about it. I was like, because I really liked the cliffhanger ending.
Yeah.
Come to find out, do you know what happened with that? Are you aware? There is a story behind this.
I know where you're going. At least I'm pretty sure.
So it turns out.
I'm sorry it happened.
So it turns out. So you guys out there who are like, and I know I'm talking about Force Awakens, but this is a retroactive thing. The Last Jedi impacted this movie. So Rian Johnson requested 2 changes from the Force Awakens. One was that R2-D2 accompany Rey to Ahch-To, not BB-8. That because in the script, I guess BB-8 was supposed to accompany Rey, not R2-D2. Okay, cool change. I'm down. The second, remove all of Luke's Force abilities, because originally it was supposed to be Luke standing at the cliff levitating all of these rocks, because there's something in lore, I forget what it's called, but it's this demonstration of the Force that is like only an elite member of the Force can do. Like even Yoda had trouble doing it, but he's like levitating all these rocks in a specific type of way.
Kind of like what she's doing in Rise, kind of.
Basically, yes. Yeah. And you hear Mark, he'll give interviews about this, and he'll mention like, yeah, that was part of the deal. He was really excited about this. It was going to be this grand display of the Force. And then they took it all away.
Yeah.
And
yeah. If only.
Like I had a very, very nice comment from somebody on YouTube talking about like how they disagreed with my opinion on TLJ, which is great. I enjoyed talking to you, by the way, if you're listening. And they're like, yeah, but I don't agree with your opinion about Ryan. I'm like, this is why I have my opinions about that movie, because it infected even Force Awakens. So that's something I don't like about Force Awakens.
Gotcha. Right there you go. Okay.
There you go. So we'll go back to these.
Yeah.
2 more of these, and then we'll do Last Jedi questions.
All right, cool.
All right. What Jedi is stunned by a blow to the nose with a lightsaber handle before he is killed with its blade? Oh, the way that's worded. Okay.
Oh, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah. I was like, it got me for a minute.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about what Jedi died before they got hit in the face. Another Phantom Menace question, huh?
Yeah, so you don't have to.
Okay.
We can just rapid fire that one since you already gave me a thing you like about Phantom.
Okay. I'm going to pick a movie that we... What device in Slave One's arsenal, Boba Fett's fire spray, arsenal slices through the asteroid field with in a characteristic dark pattern or disc pattern? I'm sorry.
I mean, I know what it is, but
don't
don't
overthink it. What are those called?
Are they just repulsor blast or percussion blast, repulsor blast, percussion?
A seismic charge.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah. Well, now you got to say something mean about the prequels or Attack of the Clones. Yeah.
Dang it. I knew that too. Seismic charge. Now that I'm on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said, man, all the people in the comments would be like, I knew it. You guys.
You don't know anything.
Gosh, how did I miss that?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of seismic charge.
Yeah.
Where were you when you first heard that? In the theater.
I was at my sister's boyfriend's house because he had a copy of that movie, and that's where I watched
There
it for
you
the
go.
first time.
Yeah.
So, something I don't like about Attack of the Clones. I like it more and more as I get older, surprisingly,
Interesting.
rather than liking it less.
Yeah.
It was my least favorite Star Wars movie for a really long time. Now it kind of, as far as the original 6 goes, it kind of competes with Phantom Menace for me.
Okay.
But it's not to say I don't like those movies. I really do. I mean,
Yeah.
worst Star Wars movie is still a Star Wars movie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But Attack of the Clones, I mean, pacing is a little weird. You don't get to meet Count Dooku until you're like an hour into the movie.
Super far into the movie.
Super far into the movie.
And he still doesn't even seem like a villain because like he doesn't have a whole lot of screen time before he starts hacking into our boys. That it's it's
right?
weird. Yeah.
So that would be a big critique. I think the opening of the movie, it's the weakest probably of all 6 movies. Like Padme landing her ship and getting blown up. Like it sets the plot up, about that little quest, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's the least interesting thing about that movie is that, yeah, it gets the ball rolling. It's your inciting incident, but
Yeah.
I do think it has the weakest opening act of any of the 6 movies. So
Okay.
that's probably I think. See, I just wanted to say something bad about Attack of the Clones. I really knew the answer to that question. Ain't no way you're getting this one.
Ain't no way I'm getting this one. Okay.
What camp are Queen Amidala and her handmaidens being taken to when the Jedi arrive to rescue them?
Oh, goodness. 94.
Camp 4.
Camp 4. Okay.
When is that even said?
I think the droids say that right before that they drop in. and
Really?
start. I think so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know.
And some of these are
Tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tough.
That was another Phantom one.
That's another.
I'll give you another one just because that was a
Yeah, that's kind of insane. It's okay.
Oh, you did get it wrong though, so you have to say something bad about Phantom. So
About Phantom Menace. Much like Count Dooku, I think it's way too long before we meet Anakin. Like way, way too long.
But is Anakin really the main character?
That's
of
the whole
Phantom
thing.
Menace?
That movie doesn't really have a main character. That it
It's
shifts.
the Force.
Yeah,
That's
it
the main
shifts
thing.
between a lot of people. I think that it's kind of it's just a movie. It's a really interesting movie. Where like
It's got a very weird structure to it.
It does very much so.
I'd say Qui-Gon is probably your
Kind of.
like really look at your
I feel like the
story structure. I think it's either Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan.
yeah, but like
might
Obi-Wan
be.
still is sitting on the ship for a good chunk of Tatooine and not there.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
maybe
makes it
it's-
weird.
Maybe it's Qui-Gon then?
Maybe, but still, when you really sit back and think about Qui-Gon, like no one person's really in that movie a lot. It's shifting between a lot of
I'd
different
say
people.
Qui-Gon's in it probably the most. Like
Probably, but there's still a lot of other people that are,
Yeah, it's got a very weird structure.
It
to
is. It's an odd one.
All right, one more of these.
Okay.
And then we're jumping on to Last Jedi.
Goodness.
The Republic gunship.
The Republic gunship, no! Okay. Who helps make a sale by noting that unit is in prime condition, a real bargain?
C-3PO.
Okay.
New Hope.
A
Come
New Hope.
on.
Yep.
Come on.
Okay. All right.
Softball. Something I like about New Hope. I mean, I love everything about A New Hope. Okay, here's a weird thing I like about New Hope. It looks way different than any of the other movies in the original trilogy. It's got a grain to it. I think that A New Hope was shot on probably a
Old camera. An old film.
just a less quality type of film,
Mhm.
and it gives it just it fits the lived in vibe of the universe.
Yeah.
In a way, it almost feels like a found footage type
It
thing.
almost feels real.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like an old war movie from another universe. You know, like that's what it feels like.
Mhm.
Every time I rewatch A New Hope, that's what I notice is like the grain is so deep.
Yeah.
But then when you get to Empire, you don't have that problem. And also
No.
it sounds different too.
Well, all the
Right.
money like being
Yeah.
thrown at Empire where it's like,
But it's just A New Hope has that like, it didn't matter the gear. You know,
Mhm.
it was all the raw creativity. Like I hear this story sometimes about George just walking into the ILM groups and when they formed it, basically just saying, "Hey, figure this out." They were like, "Okay,
Yeah.
you know, like how are we going to do this?" They did, you know,
Yeah.
and it was saved in the edit
made it work.
by Lucas's wife for
It's
the most
true.
part.
Yeah.
So it looks so much different and it sounds so much different, and then it really just feels like It feels like in another world, this would have been a cult classic indie movie lost to time. And that's all it would have ever been.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a cool thing about A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Quiz. How well do you know The Last Jedi? Take quiz. Fortunately, too well. What is the color of Supreme Leader Snoke's new robe?
It's gold.
It's gold. It's one of the many things I don't like about this movie. It's just a weird choice. Which character pilots a TIE silencer?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren. Come on, these are easy. What is a baby porg called? A porglet, a porgy, a porgling, or a porgle?
I think that they're called a porglet.
You are correct. How do you know that? What is the function of the Praetorian Guards?
To protect Snoke?
Yeah. There also says to kill Force-sensitive beings. That was another one of the options.
Yeah.
What is the newest iteration of armored transports called?
Ooh, do I have options?
ATM6, ATR3, ATACT, or ATRBT?
I think it's C, isn't it?
ATCT.
Yeah.
I think so. Oh, no.
Oh.
ATM6.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, no.
What is the name of this First Order ship? And it's a picture of the Dreadnought. So I'll just spoil it right there.
Okay, cool.
Who says the following? I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Ray. Woo! What are we?
You're almost there. With a great teacher, you could master this quiz. Try again.
Dude, what the heck? We're
that was way easier than the
Force Awakens had some crazy stuff in it.
So, all right. Something nice, something you don't like. Hit me, and then I'll go.
Okay, so the thing I don't like, I hate how this picks up right after where the last one stopped.
Oh, there's no time jump.
Yeah, I hate that. That's
me. Really not a fault of this movie, though. Like,
it's what he wanted to do. You said it yourself. It affected the other movies. He didn't want a time skip. That's.
You want to hear my what was my fan? My head canon of how this movie was gonna open.
Sure.
So after Force Awakens, when this movie got announced and it was called The Last Jedi, like everybody, I'm like, okay, what's this gonna be?
What does this mean?
What's it gonna be?
Yeah.
And at a certain point, they did announce that there wasn't going to be a time jump. It was going to pick up right after the last one left off. But before that, I still very vividly have this image of funny enough, it does subvert expectations as well. But it's the Starfield after the crawl, right? But then it pans across. It was out of a window. So it was in the window of a ship of some kind, an Imperial ship. And so the camera pans out of the window of the ship, and it's just a hallway, your typical Star Wars hallway. All right.
Yeah.
Camera's a little lower to the ground, and then you just have hand down onto the ground, fall, and it's Rey. She looks up.
Superhero pose.
Superhero pose, basically running through the ship. You start to hear sparks, alarms, and stuff. And then she's running through, and maybe there's some bandits or something. And then she gets to the end, and they're trying to find something. But then she starts to get overwhelmed, and then Luke shows up. And then you find out, oh, they've been training for a little while. She showed up on Octo and gave him the lightsaber, and they've been hanging out. They've been
doing stuff.
They've been finding more of this ancient Jedi stuff.
Gotcha.
So Luke's still and then maybe a conversation would spark where she was like, okay, are we ready to get back? Okay, we found the thing you're looking for. Maybe it was a holocron.
Yeah.
Are we ready to get back to the Resistance? It's been whatever, could exposition dump a little bit. And Luke is we're not, I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I still have a few of these things I need to find,
Yeah.
And he's in secret, doing these stealth missions or something. But that opening shot specifically is what I had in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why that popped in my head, but
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Something I like about this movie. I love when the music cue, when Luke sneaks onto the Falcon.
Yes.
That
is a good scene.
So good. That is the best track on that sound, on that CD, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yes, it is so good. Oh my gosh, him sneaking past everything, and then
it's so a very good scene.
Yes, so good.
Speaking of score, here's the thing I like about this movie. The thing I love, I love when Luke walks out to face the First Order.
Oh,
That
yeah.
track.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that hits, man.
Yeah.
I love that. Is maybe my favorite track in the whole sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Rey's theme, I really like Rey's theme too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it ends, that whole scene ends really well where he's holding the dice and you get the dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's good too. Yeah.
But just that build up when he's walking out the dum 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 dum
Mm-hmm.
dum, and he's walking past. It's actually Mark Hamill's kids. These are all the people he's walking past as resistance soldiers.
Yeah.
And then walking out the door. I have my critiques, but that scene,
It's good. Yeah.
something I don't like. On the same side, to talk about score, I think this continues into Tross, but John Williams was very underutilized in this movie. Specific scene. The scene when Luke is teaching Rey about the Force, explaining the Force to Rey. I actually really like that scene. I like the dialogue.
Yeah.
I like all that. But you just hear ambience. And that to me feels like a very indie director decision,
Yeah.
And I know that this is, and again, I'll take this one as this could just be a me thing, and that's all right. But I do know, like, as an indie director, that is a thing that you're always mindful of music, because music is something that should never define the emotion of your scene, right? But Star Wars, music is part of its DNA.
Yeah.
The leitmotif is like, it's ingrained.
Yeah.
And so to not have, it would have been really cool to have John Williams do like a form of Yoda's theme and Luke's theme, like the Binary Sunset sort of mixed. Like he's now the teacher, which they kind of do in the next movie.
Yeah.
They do that with
when he's raising the X-Wing.
where he's raising the X-Wing. So that would have been a nice theme in some way to have in that scene.
Yeah.
Or
I call it Jedi Tales. Whenever when Obi-Wan Kenobi, that
yes,
Obi-Wan.
yeah,
that would be good stuff. Anyway,
yeah. So all right, a couple more of these, then we'll do Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay, all right.
These are all easy. You'll get all these.
Fine.
Actually, maybe not. No, here's one I'll stump you. Where on Naboo are Anakin and Padme when they surrender to their first romantic kiss? What a way to word that question. When they surrender to their love, where are they?
Kiss me like you did on the lake in Naboo. They were in her little courtyard area.
Yeah, but where at? You're like almost there.
What do you mean? Like what? It's
the lake country. I'll give it to you though.
Okay, I was going to say. All right. Okay. Yeah.
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 It's Lake Como, actually, Italy.
Yeah.
Sicily.
You been there?
No, I've not been there.
Okay. All right. Me neither.
I want to go.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out.
All right, go ahead.
All right, fine.
Hit me.
Okay.
What do we got?
What two warriors does Yoda thank for helping him escape from clone troopers?
Oh. Chewbacca and Tarful.
Yes. Thank you, Tarful. Thank you, Chewbacca. Yep.
I was trying, for some reason, my mind was going to Attack of the Clones. I was thinking with clone troopers.
Yeah.
Chewbacca and Tarful. I really liked Tarful as a kid for some reason. He has a big part in Fallen Order. Do you know that? Jedi Fallen Order?
No, I never finished that one. Yeah.
So, that was, okay, we'll do one.
That was Revenge of the Sith. You don't want to say anything nice about it?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'll say something nice about it.
You can say something nice about Revenge of the Sith.
I forgot that was Revenge of the Sith. Okay. Yeah. Something, I mean, what isn't there to say
about
Revenge of the Sith? It's a perfect movie. Yeah, it's a perfect I really love how
cinema.
It is the best opening of any of the movies by far.
That one tracking shot.
One shot.
Yeah.
But not just that, the whole first act of that movie.
It's pretty tight. It's awesome.
It's so hopeful, it's fun, and it really primes you really well for what's about to happen. Yeah. Because you're getting an idea of like, oh, him and Obi-Wan have this shared history.
Everything's in a good space.
Yeah.
For it to just fall apart.
Like people say, I hear this a lot, that, oh, you need to watch Clone Wars to really get the context, and it builds up the fall. And it does do that. But to me, the opening of Revenge of the Sith does all that lifting that you need. Mm-hmm. You get Anakin's the best star pilot in the galaxy. He was a good friend. He was a good pilot. Yeah.
True warrior.
A warrior. Yeah. Him and Obi-Wan were good friends. Not only were they good friends, they were in sync with each other. Yeah. They fought side by side. And the opening of Revenge of the Sith, it does all that. Yes, it's great to have 7 seasons of a show to just go real deep on that.
Nail that point home.
But
yeah.
To me, that first, what is it, half hour, 45 minutes of Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
It goes all the way up. I mean, you have Obi-Wan getting beat by Dooku and then Anakin carrying him on his back. I think it does the job.
Yeah.
You know, I really like that. I love that. I mean, so many things I like about that movie, but love that. So one more before we get to Rise of Skywalker. Who tells a curious Anakin, you catch on pretty quick? It's a Phantom Menace question.
It is a Phantom Menace. Is it Captain Typho? Or Captain Is it Typho or is it Panaka? Is that one of them?
Not according to this card. I thought so too, but no.
Huh. Who is it?
Rick Ollier.
I don't know who that is.
I have no idea who that is either.
I could have sworn it was.
I thought it was Panaka as well.
Yeah.
You catch on pretty quick. Maybe it is just one of the random guys.
Ship. Cup. Those are the things he's seeing through the Force.
Yeah.
But,
you catch on pretty quick. So yeah, you got that one wrong.
Dang, I've already talked about Phantom Menace.
You didn't say something you didn't like, though.
I didn't say anything that I didn't like about that movie.
I don't think so.
No, I did. I said there's no good main character.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
but
so you give me one.
Fine, I'll just... No, okay.
So you give me one.
Fine. This is it.
Then we're jumping on Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, then we're going to get on the Rise. How many years after Anakin won the pod race is he assigned to protect Senator Amidala?
10 years.
It's 10 years. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yep, I know my AOTC and my TPM.
Yeah.
All right, Rise of Skywalker time.
All right.
Probably the one I've watched the least.
Last Jedi is probably the one. I don't know. Like these Last Jedi and Rise are the ones that I've seen the least, but we did terrible on
this one might be awful.
Oh.
How does the opening crawl start?
The dead speak.
The dead speak.
Yeah.
You know how you hear the dead speak?
Fortnite.
In Fortnite. We'll never get over that.
No, I won't.
Which character returns during the Battle of Exegol to serve as the gunner on the Millennium Falcon?
Wedge.
Wedge Antilles, that's correct. What is the name of the spy who is working for the First Order? General Hux.
Yeah. What's his first name? He's got a crazy
It's like Constable, right?
Yeah, something crazy.
Constable
like
Hux, something like that.
Yeah.
What is the name of the planet that serves as the host of the final battle?
Oh, Exegol.
Exegol. What is the name of the character who was able to wipe C-3PO's memory?
Babu Frick.
Babu Frick.
He's the man.
Hey!
hey! So good.
What is the name of the female who leads a group of former stormtroopers and bonds with Finn?
I actually don't know her name.
Janna, I believe. Janna. Yep.
Yep.
Who says, I got a bad feeling about this during this movie?
Is it Poe? I actually don't know.
I think it's Lando.
Does he?
It is Lando.
Okay.
I thought it was...
Oh, yes. On the desert planet, doesn't he?
On Pisana.
Yep.
Yeah. What is the name of the leader of the Spice Runners who is an old acquaintance of Poe Dameron?
Zori Bliss.
That's right.
I could still find her at Myers.
Yeah, the back series figure.
No,
Yep. Whose lightsaber does Luke Skywalker's spirit give to Rey before she faces Palpatine?
Leia's.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird way to word that. You're
trying to get me to say Ben Solo?
So that was a terrible, terrible quiz. So, okay, it's thing you like, thing you don't like. Hit me.
I mean, the first 10 minutes of that movie is amazing. So I think that Palpatine's motives are really confusing in the movie. That's the thing I don't like. I do like Exegol's design, though. I think it is legitimately creepy.
Yeah.
And I like the crazy Sith temple. Like, all of that is awesome.
I agree.
Yeah. But Palpatine's motives, that's the negative thing. I'm like, I don't get it, because like
they're constantly changing.
Yeah, he's like, kill the girl, strike me down. Like, what do you want? Like, like I don't understand. You're both here. I'll just suck the life out of you. And like, I don't get it.
So I'll start with my negative, I guess. So as much as I didn't like the last movie, I think that the Rise of Skywalker pivots too hard. I think it would have been far more admirable if it would have just stuck to the decisions that Last Jedi made. Because it's not so much the decisions that The Last Jedi makes, like from a lore perspective, it's the execution I don't like. I don't like a lot of the more micro decisions that are made in that movie, right? But Rey being a no one, kind of jive with that. Breaking Kylo's helmet, okay, I can take that or leave it. It's fine.
The lightsaber getting broken.
I used to not like that. I'm more indifferent to it now. That just felt like a kill the past thing.
Yeah.
What does he say?
You gotta let the past die.
Yeah, let the past die. Kill it if you have to. Like that just felt like that. Like you just had to kill everything about Star Wars, to continue on. But I'm indifferent toward that. It's just every decision that was made in Last Jedi was like, hey, look at us in Rise of Skywalker. His helmet, it's fixed. The lightsaber, it's fixed. And so you look at the Colin Trevorrow script, Duel of the Fates, and a lot of the decisions they were going to be making, like Rey having like a staff saber. I just think that it would have been much more cohesive. First of all, it would have been much more admirable, and it just felt like a really cowardly decision just to go like, oh, you guys didn't like that? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, take this then. We'll give you this. You like Palpatine, right? You guys like Palpatine.
He's back.
He's cool,
Yeah.
right? Okay, here's Palpatine. Oh, you didn't like here's the lightsaber. Here, it's back. You guys okay with that? Like that's how it felt the whole movie.
I gotcha.
So
1,000 apologies. Yeah.
But even that being said, I do like a lot of what's going on in that movie. Even on paper, I like a lot of what's going on.
So before we wrap this up, do you have a question for me? Don't you have like a crazy Star Wars question? You've got like
a personal one?
No, just a crazy trivia question.
Yeah.
That you could try and throw at me.
Okay.
So I got one for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did write down one question.
Yeah.
That I
try to stump me. Yeah.
This is just one of my personal favorites to throw out. It's like it's my trump card.
Yeah.
What was Yoda's original first name?
I don't know.
Nothing? You got nothing on that one?
I don't know. How would I know that? Reading some book from a long time ago? Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
Minch.
Minch
Yoda.
Minch Yoda was going to be his name.
That was his name.
Gotcha.
That's my favorite little.
Gotcha. Here's mine.
Okay.
So, in all the Star Wars movies after the crawl, it pans. In 5 of them, it pans down. In 1 of them, it pans up. Which one is it that pans up?
You said 5. You talking about the original 6?
All 9 of all 9 movies. Sorry.
So 8 of the 9 movies it pans down.
Yes.
And 1 it pans up.
In 1 of them it pans up. Which film pans up?
Okay, so I know it's not Rots, because Rots goes down into the battle. I know it's not A New Hope, because obviously that's an iconic shot. Why am I not remembering Empire's opening shot? Oh, it's the Star Destroyers. Right?
Yeah.
Probably be The Last Jedi, because they would be the one that'd be different. But no, I don't think it is. I think that one actually pans down. You have all the ships fly past it. Rise of Skywalker. That one pans down because you get the shadow. And that's actually a pretty sick shot, right?
Force Awakens has the shadow over the moon. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah. So how does Rise start then? How does that one go?
The TIE fighters going by and the...
That's right. And it just kind of pans.
Yeah, to Mustafar.
You got me here. I'm just going to throw a wild card out there and say Attack of the Clones.
It is Attack of the Clones.
Is it? I was thinking with that starship.
It goes up and then into Padme's ship.
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't 100%. That is the one.
Good job. Not many people get that. Yeah. Good job.
Because I was thinking about that the opening earlier with that chrome ship.
Yeah. All right. Since you got that, I have one more.
Okay. Hit me.
What is significant when Rey is looking? So when she's dying from Palpatine and Rise of Skywalker, and it goes up into the space, You know what's significant about that shot of space?
It is the star field from A New Hope.
It is just the star field from A New Hope, which, like, I think that's a cool little,
It's
like,
a cool detail.
I think that is a fun little nod that
Yep.
it's like, yeah, if you're going to have a star field, why not do the one that started it all? But
Yep.
yeah.
Great. That is a great detail.
There you go. There's my party
Those are
tricks.
good. I didn't know. I mean, that first one is pretty much just a guess. I was either going to guess Attack of the Clones,
Phantom Menace,
or Rise.
Yeah.
No, because I know Phantom Menace is. It goes to that ship. I remember each of them pretty well, but what's Return of the Jedi's? Why am I not?
Shuttle Tydirium.
That's
or
right.
the shuttle, the Imperial shuttle, and
it
pans down to the second Death Star, and then
that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So nice.
Yeah.
A little bit out of that. That was fun. A little bit of trivia.
Yeah, just we're riffing. You got to hang out a little.
Just a little jiving, just a little. Hey, if you guys have any stumpers out there,
please
throw them in the comments.
I love it.
We love having the Star Wars party tricks. But hey, a little bit about that. We haven't talked about Loki in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit about Loki. So, which I know, guys, we're always a week behind because we record these earlier in the week than they release on Friday. So I don't know what's happening this week's episode, but I'm very excited because that last episode,
insane.
I actually thought it was the weakest episode overall, but that ended.
He turned into spaghetti.
Yeah.
They talked about that in the first episode.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. The third episode I thought was the weakest because we've missed 2 episodes.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought Victor Timely was really cool.
Yeah. Them at the World's Fair. That's what you're talking about.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
The buddy cop stuff continues to be the coolest part.
It's true.
And I also like how they are implementing more and more of Loki's history.
Yes.
That scene of him looking at the Norse temple.
Yeah.
Or the fake Norse temple.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That was really cool.
It was cool. Yeah.
He's
not that tall.
Yeah, I was about to say Thor's not that tall.
Yeah.
And Mobius being like, I keep forgetting you're one of them.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
And then him talking about Thor in the last episode, with Sylvie.
Yeah.
Because it makes me wonder, does Sylvie know Thor? Like her
She
Thor?
probably has a Thor.
Does she have a Thor?
Yeah.
Like that's really, I'd love for them to expand on that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you heard, there's a rumor, I think it was debunked, but so I'll put this out there, potential spoilers. I don't know. Supposedly one of the plot points will be Loki will be like the new Nick Fury of like this.
The TVA?
Like going out and getting the Avengers to fight Kang.
Oh.
And Thor will be one of the people he has to recruit.
Interesting.
But I
do
also
know
read that
the
was
director
debunked.
said that like that's his ultimate goal with the end of all of it, or the writer or someone said that he wants
them to reunite.
They just want they want Thor to get back together along with Loki. Yeah.
With how they're going with this show, that would be something I would really enjoy seeing.
Yeah.
I would really enjoy seeing that. The writing in the show continues to be incredible. The way that they ended that episode of just, oh shoot, everything's done. Huh?
Yeah.
And I've read some wild theories.
The director or whomever I saw
showrunner.
also showrunner said like the next 2 episodes are the best 2 episodes of the show, and I'm like, you've had some really good episodes, so that's gonna be that's a tall order.
And I saw the production designer said that because we've been praising that a lot the past couple of weeks that they had to fight for the production design
to keep the TVA the way it is, or what?
To make them physical sets.
Yeah.
Because Marvel didn't want that. And
It's
they're like,
true.
no, we want them to have actual 360-degree sets that we can work in.
Yes.
Good for them for doing that.
It's true.
Like, seriously, good for them.
It makes a difference. It's
It does.
crazy. Yeah.
Like I know that there's hate for the volume. I think the volume is fine for filling negative space.
It's true.
It shouldn't be your entire thing.
No.
But
It's
doing
a tool, not a crutch.
like perfect example of where the volume is used really well in The Mandalorian, of a scene you might not even know the volume was used for. The client, stuff with the client in season 1, his office.
Yeah.
That's all volume work.
Huh.
Like
His desk is real.
Yeah, there's everything in the foreground that they interact with.
Yeah.
That's all real. But then the room is volume.
Yeah.
Perfect use
Yeah.
because it fills negative space, you know, and that's the way to do it. In my opinion, you fill negative space, but you build everything else out. Right.
Yeah.
So in Loki, I love that everything's built out, but I think that if you're like, we can't do this because it's so expensive, do a middle ground approach, build some really intense sets like that, but then have the volume for your ceilings, or if you need some
your sprawling background.
Something like that. Yeah. Right. They did this with the Batman actually really well. You know, a lot of the Batman was filmed on the volume.
I did not know that.
Or a volume like piece of technology.
I did not know that.
Like that scene with them on the rooftop with Catwoman and Batman.
Really?
The sunset.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all volume work.
Huh.
Because sunset stuff is
Can't do
famously
it.
very hard to
Yeah.
do because you have a very limited amount of time
Yeah.
to shoot. So
Interesting.
yeah, that's how they did that. So they had all those beams and stuff that were real,
Yeah.
and then they just had the volume behind it.
Interesting.
So
You
anyway,
would never known.
I know it's really well implemented
Yeah.
in my opinion. So there is a way to do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Loki.
Show's killing it.
It's
That's all that
absolutely
really-
killing
yes.
it. It's just
So good. Why can't they all be this good?
right. I know
It's frustrating.
It's all down to the writing, honestly.
I know,
mean, and the
I know.
production design.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a
all
lot
of
of
it.
elements.
No,
there.
I
Natalie
it's-
Holt, the composer,
Yes.
is crushing it.
Yeah.
She is crushing it. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh. I think she actually did. Did she do Kenobi's score as well? Natalie Holt?
I don't know. couldn't
I
tell
know
you.
she Williams is an inspiration for her.
Yeah.
John Williams. She's nailing it. She's doing a really great job. So yeah, can't wait for this week.
Yeah,
Man, it's
I
gonna
can't
be
wait.
Good.
It's gonna be fun. Tomorrow's gonna be wild.
It's like I'm just buzzing on what they're gonna do.
Where they go with it.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of
It's turned
theories
into
right
spaghetti,
now about.
man.
I know.
And
it's
like, how crazy is that? Because like when you really think about Miss Minutes did that. It's like one final like middle finger. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's like, you're never gonna be him. And so it's like, I have to go be a hero. And she knew what would happen. That he'd go and kill himself.
Have you read the theory that that's all part of the plan?
It might be. Who
That
knows?
him doing that spreads his temporal aura
See,
and allows the multiple Kangs to
and
be
that's
out
what
there.
I thought was going to happen, is that there was going to be like when he's out there something crazy where like it would split him in a bunch of ways or something like that, but not.
I read that. So like the character of Ouroboros, right? Like
Yeah.
you know what an Ouroboros is.
Yes,
they make
there's-
a joke about it, like a
Yeah.
snake eating a stick.
Yeah, I've played Resident Evil 5.
Okay, just making sure. So I read the theory that basically Kang being split up, or Victor Timely, his aura being split out creates all of the other Kangs. And so he who remains is basically a loop. Like Victor Timely was the only version of himself.
Yeah.
So he has to, by giving himself the
And
TVA
then
guidebook and
separate-
starting him on the path, he forces his temporal aura out into
Interesting.
the different branches. And now all the Kangs pop up and the multiversal war will start.
Yeah.
And eventually he'll come back out on top and it creates
A loop.
just a loop.
That better not be it. We'll see. I don't know. I hope you didn't just spoil it for everybody, because that makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. But
So,
granted, I've heard lots of things that
but-
make a lot of sense that it doesn't
but-
actually happen. Yeah.
I think the point of the show will be, or the point of all of this will be, how do they stop the loop from continuing?
Yeah. And I assume too that there's probably, I don't know. I just feel like there's another Victor Timely or whatever that isn't so nice, if that makes sense.
Oh
That
yeah,
there
I'm
still
sure
is-
we're about to find
Yes.
some stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
fan questions.
Fan questions.
Fan questions. So we
Fan
didn't
questions.
answer them last week because of the tier list,
Yes.
but I did keep them.
Yeah.
So we're going to answer some of the questions from last week and then the rest of the questions this week because we didn't get a ton for this week. Starting out from Rick Darklighter, what equipment do you both shoot on? Do we need to break out the board for brand preference? Detecting a tad bit of snark there about the board. Okay, we love the board, Rick.
I'm a big fan.
Big fans of the board.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you would actually be surprised at how janky this setup is. So
There's stuff
We-
on coat hangers.
it's not quite that bad, but so my background is, well, both of us really, we are both what you would call guerrilla filmmakers. So very run and gun type shooting. My kit was just not built for studio shooting. So this is very hobbled together.
I just bring my stuff over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
I've collected a lot of stuff through my product photography and my miniature photography stuff that is a little bit more studio oriented. So a lot of that equipment helps, but we're building it out. We're building out more of a
We'll get there.
more of a professional setup. But I think we do all right with what we got.
I think so.
So,
Part of the charm.
but as far as cameras go, we do shoot on a Lumix, all Lumix cameras. So 2 GH5s and a G7.
GX7.
Oh, GX7. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So yeah, nothing crazy. Probably will change as we go forward. Who knows? But right now, that's what we're shooting on. But appreciate the ask about that. Michael _Kramer 98. Who would win in a fight, Malgus or Revan? And he really wants his question answered, by the way. So I told him
what?
I told him you were the guy to ask.
In what?
I don't know. I don't
Just
know.
a fight?
Yeah, in a fight.
I think Revan.
Why?
Why? He's Revan. She's Revan. You're Revan. Like that. What did Malgus ever do that would make you think that he, like in the Old Republic?
I don't know enough about these
The
characters.
the dude's a blunt instrument. So Luke said it best. You use the Force like it's a club. I feel like Revan would use it like it's a blade. That Yeah. Personally, I think Darth Bane solos both of them. I take that back. Not at the same time, but I think Darth Bane could take. I think Darth Bane could take them both. But yeah, Revan.
Revan? Okay.
Revan.
Okay. Alan DCG. Can a dark side user fall to the light side? Are there powers a dark side user can't use? So we asked this on an Instagram post, and I answered there as well, but I'll give basically my answer. Yes, but the term, I don't think you're asking the right question. They don't fall, they rise to the light. I'll use an Optimus Prime quote here. We're often faced with the choice that is right or what is easy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the choice of the dark side and the light side. You fall to the dark side because it is the easy path, as Yoda said. You fall into the temptation. But you have to work to be a good person. You have
rise
to work,
to the occasion.
You have to rise. The darkness rises in the light to meet it. So
and in lore too, that like a darksider can't heal. Like there's
That's
also like reverse shatter points as well.
Mhm.
That like shatter point, pretty dark side kind of thing where you can detect the weaknesses in objects and people.
Right.
You can reverse do that, and you can find lingering injuries and be able to heal them and things like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that, and as far as a character that might do that, I think there's one great example. Ben Solo, Kylo Ren.
It's true.
Grandfather, I feel it again. The pull to the light.
Yeah.
Show me the dark side. So, Andrew Greco _1. If you've read it, what are your feelings on Dark Empire?
Mine?
I've only read like the cliff notes of it, so I'm not sure.
Okay. So Dark Empire is cool. It really does kind of. So it was written at the same time as Heir of the Empire, about the same time. So it has similar problems in the sense that it is a sequel to the original trilogy that like it kind of falls apart when you start adding the prequels and the Chosen One and stuff like that. But I think it is a more creative way of bringing Palpatine back. And I think a lot of people get really mad when they're like, oh, Luke falls to the dark side. Well, he doesn't fall to the dark side. He he was given a no-win situation. Like that was the only answer he could do, was to go with Palpatine. He's trying to rot the dark side from the inside out, and unfortunately it doesn't work. But it's okay because good still triumphs in the end. I don't think that Dark Empire or final, what's the third one called? I can't remember.
And Heir to the Empire, the trilogy?
No. Like Dark Empire 2, and then there's a third one that's only 2 issues, and it's got Palpatine on the cover. Man, I see it. I can't remember. Empire's End. That's what it's called. Yeah, I think those are just okay. I think that Dark Empire is solid. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Kate Peoples says, can we talk about how in The Mandalorian Season 3, they retake Mandalore and Sabine won't know because she is in a different galaxy? So sad. I'd love to see Bo-Katan plus Sabine. Yeah, I think that is kind of a weird thing. It was sort of a fumble that Mando Season 3 and Ahsoka could have had there was a perfect tie-in there.
Yeah.
With Sabine. The Purgle being there's a lot of theories, that's who Grogu sees as Ahsoka going to the other galaxy. I think that was a layup that could have been done. Sabine being part of the second siege of Mandalore. Yeah. Kind of weird that they didn't do that, especially knowing that they were bringing them back. Like they had the casting done, odd choice. I don't know why. But yeah, very sad. I kind of agree. Then from Star Wars Sith 66, for Tales of the Jedi Season 2, what characters do you want to see the show follow?
Baylan Skoll.
That's,
just give me
the obvious answer.
Give me 6 episodes about him.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Honestly.
That'd be cool. I'd also, I would.
Solo?
What?
Ben Solo?
I wouldn't mind a young Ben and a young Rey. That would be kind of nice too.
Quinlan Voss. We talked about that last week. Or on our Halloween episode.
Yes, I was going to say. He all right. I wouldn't mind. I like Kit Fisto a lot. I think he's pretty cool.
A lot of options. Yeah. I would like to kind of see maybe somebody we've never even heard of before, like from Old Republic or something. That'd be a fun way to sort of dip your toes into
to try to get it going. Yeah, I did like, okay. All right.
Maybe Revan when he turns to the light side.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So.
What are your thoughts?
What?
My wife always is quick to correct me because she's played the KOTOR games. she's always like, Revan's a girl because I played as a girl.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I've never played them.
Okay, I just always think that's fun.
Jeremy Bloor. Black Chrysanthemum and Obi-Wan fought on Tatooine in the comics. Did Book of Boba Fett lead to this? I think our timelines are a little mixed up for that. So Book of Boba Fett takes place way after Obi-Wan. So it takes place about 7 years-ish after Return of the Jedi. So Obi-Wan is long dead.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe there's some inspiration.
I think so, because I was going to say I'm pretty sure that happened in the comics way before Book of Boba Fett, because they took Black Chrysanthemum from the Marvel comic series. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So okay, from this week we got just a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Matt 66801. Would you rather fight dual wielding 2 single sabers or fighting with one double? One double. I feel like the 2 would just you'd get lost in the sauce with that one. So I think that you have to be ambidextrous. If you have one, you're sort of working with one weapon, and you can still deflect 2 sabers. I'd rather have the one double blade.
Yeah, I think so too.
Cool. Good question.
Yeah.
Rippick_tan. I'll just read this question and then I'll riff on it. Whose hand doubles for a close-up of Anakin's hand in Revenge of the Sith while falling down the elevator?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I even tried to cheat and look this one up. I have no idea. I think he was trying to ask a trivia question here.
Gotcha.
Do you know this?
No.
Dude, I have no idea. Please, Rippick, not only answer this question for us.
That's weird.
But tell us how you know this, because I looked this up and I found nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing about this.
That's weird, because I know what he's talking about. It's the robot hand that grabs onto the wire when they're falling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So someone's
it's just a quick shot.
I feel like maybe I have heard this somewhere.
It's just like, because again, it's just a close-up shot. Yeah. So that's what it's probably some.
Is it like Matthew Wood, or is it like George Lucas or something?
That's my guess would be George Lucas' hand.
Ah, dude.
Yeah.
Please tell us.
Yeah.
Please tell us. That's going to drive me nuts. Jeremy Bloor. Why does Palpatine hate lightsabers so much? He just thinks they're beneath him.
At that point. And I mean, he still uses them in the Clone Wars, I guess.
Yeah, but it's kind of out of necessity, but he doesn't think, he thinks they're beneath him.
Yeah,
like
he hides them.
There's that fantastic comic that's going back and forth between Anakin learning from Obi-Wan and Anakin Vader being trained by Darth Sidious.
Mm-hmm.
And Sidious is like, who cares about this? But he still schools Vader with the lightsaber anyway.
Yeah.
So I just think he's like the Force. The Force is everything.
Yes.
We don't need these.
Yeah.
Star Wars Sith 66 here says, have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Got a real quick funny story about this.
You're rude.
Dude, it was, come on. So there's somebody who sent us a message on Instagram. Very nice. She said, have you ever heard, do you know anything about Darth Plagueis? I see a bunch of stuff about him on Instagram and I'd love to know more.
Do you have a book suggestion?
Yeah, do you have a book suggestion? I couldn't help it, guys. Come on. It was like, if you guys were in my situation, what would you do? Be honest with me. Okay. Don't lie to me. I said the thing. Okay.
Have you ever heard the legend?
Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? It's a Sith legend. You know what's crazy? I did it all from memory too. I did give some book recommendations immediately afterward, though.
I hope
okay.
So. Goodness.
Come on now.
Goodness.
I couldn't help it though. I mean, let's be real. One more question. The Hollywood, one other question from them. Original inspiration for the podcast. So I'll give the first answer and then, first, the name. Seth came up with the name.
Yeah.
Because names are very important to me. Titles and names are extremely important to me. I was stressing about the name of this show for a very long time, because I was formulating a version of this for quite some time. It was originally going to be something and something else, and it was going to be a version of, it wasn't going to be a show, it was going to be something else. It went through many iterations. And I asked Seth, I'm like, I need some help. I need some help with the name. And there's a guy on Instagram who I follow, a photographer named Wretched Hive. I'm very fond of his name because it's ambiguous, but also it has a link to Star Wars, right? A wretched hive of scum and villainy. I really like it. It's a quote, but also, it doesn't need to be Star Wars, right? So I kind of gave Seth that idea, and we went back and forth for some time. And what did you come up with?
I mean, it's the name of the show.
Yeah, but give your.
where I got. I
Yeah.
mean, I just was like, I thought about like what was important to us because I remember we talked for several days about it, probably weeks.
Yeah,
of
it was weeks.
Literally, because I think that's just our process. Is like you task me with something and I just spitball until it becomes something we're both happy with, it basically. And I just was like, okay, what's important? It needs to sound like Star Wars, but it doesn't always have to encompass Star Wars. And I just was like, what's really, really important to us? I'm like, episode 4. You always go back to episode 4. If you have any questions, episode 4. And I remember just thinking about what are lines I like in that movie. And then that old wizard lives out beyond the Dune Sea. And I'm like, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
It just, yeah.
Because we had a few back and forth that you'd sent me earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, no, I'm not feeling, I don't even remember what they were.
Yeah.
I was trying to go all puns. That was what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of any. And we had a few, and I'm like, that's not quite it. But then you sent me that. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, that's it.
That's it.
That's the name.
Yeah.
But as far as the show itself, like I said, it went through many, I've had a version of this.
Cooking for a while.
Yeah. I've tried podcasts in the past, not to any success. And I've wanted to do some form of long form content, mostly about Star Wars, but on occasionally talking about other stuff. And getting to know Seth, he likes the same stuff. And it was kind of like hey, we should just
give this a try.
We talk about this stuff all the time anyway. Why don't we try to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And we set a hard date for ourselves. We were like, hey, Ahsoka's going to be airing in August. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
So
stop talking about it and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna about wrap us up this week, I think. Pretty fun doing some trivia, some easy stuff.
Yeah.
So for next week, so we have two paths. There's a fork in the road, people. There's a chance we might hit 500 by next week, which is nuts. There's a chance. We're getting pretty close. Just saying, there's a chance. You guys have been nuts. Thank you so much for your support. I mean, we mean sincerely. We're not joking. We say we didn't know what to expect from the show, but we gave us a year for that goal. It's been 11 weeks, people. That's insane. But we did make a promise at 500 subs. We would have the Kenobi talk.
Kenobi.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, if we don't hit that by next week, that's perfectly okay.
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine. We're just here to have fun. We're here to chat. We're here to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about a different type of Star Wars. Maybe a little bit underrated, a little fun. Seth thinks it's S tier. I think it's A tier, but there's an argument to be made for S. What is it?
We're going to talk about Gendy's Clone Wars.
Gendy Tartakovsky's Clone Wars Volume 1, and then we'll do Volume 2.
Yeah.
The micro series, it's very good. It's been a long time since I've watched it, so I'm just excited to revisit it more than anything. But we're going to give our, tried and true deep dive, maybe make some, continue to refine that formula, but see what's different from the Filoni Clone Wars, if we want to call it that, versus the Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So be excited for that next week, guys. So it's either going to be Kenobi or it's going to be Tartakovsky. What will it be? Either way, it's going to be fun. We can't wait to talk about it because there is always lots to talk about beyond the Dune Sea. We'll see you guys.